The man clearly saw that a killer was standing outside the window with a weapon aimed straight at his head, but driven by curiosity, he still wanted to take a closer look. When everyone noticed shattered glass scattered across the floor, they finally realized what had happened. An arrow was embedded straight through the man's head. The sight instantly threw the group into chaos. Some people fled the scene. Others were so terrified their legs gave out, and many more just stood there, frozen in shock. But the mysterious attacker outside didn't stop. When yet another person was struck by an arrow, the rest finally snapped out of it. But by then, it was too late to escape. More arrows shot into the house, and Anna quickly shouted for everyone to crouch down. Perhaps because the attacker had lost a clear line of sight, things went quiet for the moment. They immediately tried to call the police, but when they pulled out their phones, they realized there was no signal at all. Nick pointed out that the attacker had obviously planned this in advance, even using a signal jammer. As they were discussing what to do next, another arrow flew into the house. Sitting around waiting to die clearly wasn't an option. Anna calmly analyzed the situation and noticed that all the arrows were coming through the front windows. She quickly came up with a plan. She had her boyfriend help his injured brother move past the windows. After that work, she told everyone else to hold chairs up as shields and cover her as she rushed to the windowless side of the house. With the chairs providing cover, even if the attacker fired again, the arrows wouldn't be able to hurt them. Under her direction, the group managed to relocate, shaken and disheveled, but unharmed. However, the danger wasn't over. While protecting his mother, Mark was shot in the back by an arrow and collapsed to the floor in agony. The group began debating whether they should pull the arrow out. Anna firmly stopped anyone who tried. She warned them that pulling it out would cause massive bleeding, but leaving it in wasn't a real solution either. At that point, the oldest brother suggested finding someone fast enough to make a run for the car and drive to get help. The idea sounded reasonable, but Anna believed it was the worst possible choice. In her view, the house was the safest place they had. Outside was open ground and an unknown enemy. Running out there would be like turning yourself into a moving target. However, Annie, who had just witnessed her boyfriend die, was overwhelmed by grief and fear. She insisted on running out to find help. Seeing how much pain she was in, the family ultimately agreed to this extremely risky plan. A heart-pounding 100-meter sprint was about to begin. The father and oldest brother stood by the door, ready to fling it open the moment Annie made her dash. Once everything was set, she kicked off her high heels and took a deep breath. What they didn't know was that the killer had already rigged a razor-sharp steel wire across the doorway. Annie didn't even have time to scream before she collapsed into a pool of blood, killed instantly. Watching their daughter die right in front of them, the family completely fell apart.